is Sports Chat with Nat.
This is Sports Chat with Nat, and we have a special guest with us today, Mr. Malik Hawkins, Leak from the Peak. That's Chesapeake, Virginia, my hometown area, Hampton Roads. Malik, welcome to Sports Chat with Nat.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so nice to have you here. I met Malik, guys, years and years ago when he was a little teeny tot, and I played his mother, and I played with the Hoorah Players. But since then, he has become an entrepreneur, a voiceover artist. He's been on the stage, screen, and now as a graduate of North Carolina, was it Central or A&T?
A&T, not Central, A&T.
A&T. A&T, but now he is with the NBA, the Memphis Grizzlies. How did you get there, Malik?
Yes, ma'am. So as I was, upon graduation from North Carolina A&T State University, I knew I wanted to, go into a job where I was gonna love what I was doing. My whole life, I've been pretty passionate about a few things. Obviously, the things you mentioned, the whole entertainment industry, from the music to acting, but something else that's been constant in my life from the day I was born is also basketball. That's something else that my family is big on. It's really the only spot. I mean, we watch football as well, but like really basketball is the main sport that we watch in our house growing up. And so it's kind of, I always had a love for it. I played it from the time I was 1 years old through all of high school as well. So I've always been, I've always had a love for the game of basketball. So I just knew upon graduation it was either going to be something in sports or entertainment in terms of what my, actual job would be, my 9 to 5, if you will. And so from there, it was a long process of, just applying to a lot of different NBA teams, a lot of different record labels and things of that nature, just trying to, see what was out there and see, what would be the best fit for me, and also just what opportunity was available. And with that, I actually had a sales internship my junior year. It was in a totally different industry. It had nothing to do with sports or entertainment. It was just the opportunity that I had. But I would say that that's kind of what introduced me to sales roles at all. And so from there, I knew, I was capable of doing some sort of sales role. But something my mom has always told me is just like, if you find a job you love, you'll never feel like you're working. So I wanted to find so I took the experience I had and said, okay, I have this experience, but let me try to apply this to something that I'll care a little bit more about, something that I'll be passionate about, something I'll feel good about, going to work every day. And so with that, after a lot of different applications, a lot of interviews and things of that nature, the Grizzlies got back to me and, said they wanted me to join their team in this past June. So June 5th, I started with the Grizzlies.
Wow. And you graduated in May, correct?
Yeah, so I started probably like 2.5 weeks after graduation. It was a real quick turnaround.
Wow. Congratulations. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. But now listen, with that diverse background, you got a diverse skill set. We talked about it: entrepreneur, voiceover, stage, screen, sales, basketball. With all of that, and growing up in Hampton Roads, you watch Allen Iverson, Michael Vick, and all of that. Which one of all of those vast vocations, career choices that you have, which one do you like the best?
So it's a pretty loaded question. It's kind of hard. Like you said, it's a lot of different, things that I've tried to tap into throughout my life. That's been constant my whole life. Like from even the time when you first met me, like even as a kid, like I always was just having a hand in so many different pots, and it's something that probably would always be me. Like just like, oh, he can't stick to one thing. Like I like to do a lot of different things and try to do the best I can at all of them. I would say probably the music or the acting, just because like that's more so of like my own, like that's something I'm creating, from the ground up and from scratch. So that's something that it doesn't take anybody else for me to, I guess we'll say the music, because that's something that doesn't take anybody else. Like I can literally, like I'm at my studio right now. I'm just, speaking through the microphone that I rap on too. Like, and so just being able to create something on my own and not need anybody else to be able to do that is something that definitely brings me joy. But at the same time, there's so much that I get from all the other things, like being able to wake up every day and go work in the NBA arena is something that like 5-year-old Malik would be like, ain't no way. So that's obviously a blessing every day as well. Acting has allowed me to meet so many different people, connect with people, and have a lot of different experiences, travel and things of that nature. So it's hard to pick one, I'll say, but for the sake of the question, we'll go with the music because that's something that's 100% my own without me needing anybody else to really contribute to it. I can just lock in and create by myself.
Now, since you said music, I read that uh, you started your T-shirts and things, and bullying, anti-bullying, and things of that nature was your focus. What drove you to that particular focus?
Yeah, so growing up, I did a lot of like motivational speaking, and a lot of the topics that I was speaking of, at that age were like the bullying, the things that were going on in our schools, the social injustice, the racism, things we were just seeing, around our everyday life, things we were seeing on the news. And so with that, the movement clothing was really a way for me to kind of make those words physical. And so with that, like I already had the movement. The movement was kind of like a saying amongst like me and my friends growing up. It was kind of like we were young, at the time. So it was just kind of like a saying. Like that was just kind of like our aura, like the things we were doing, the way we were moving. It was the movement. But when it started to gain traction, it was like, let me try to turn this into something, that's more positive, something that has some real meaning to it, and not just a saying. So I was gonna make the shirts, and then I decided like let's kind of combine some of the things I had been doing and the things I've been talking about. Now let's put it on the shirt. So the shirts are saying no negativity, promote positivity. So that's something people are seeing in Walmart or seeing just when they're out, and that might really change somebody's day, or it might stop them from making a bad decision just by seeing it. So it was really just a way to kind of um, put not on paper, but essentially put the words I was speaking about on paper, but on a shirt.
Now, I always let the spirit lead my interviews, and you led me right into my next question with
Uh,
what you said about the anti-bullying and things of that nature, injustices and all that. Now, I just read an article about a superstar, NBA superstar, a young NBA superstar, that when they did the scouting reports, everything was great. Nothing, no problems, nothing. Now, all of a sudden, he's having a lot of problems. A lot of other young people having problems. Chase Claypool in the NFL, a couple of other people. As a motivational speaker, if you could get all of these young athletes, and I say young, under 25, in a room, what would you tell them? How would you help them stay on the straight and narrow and not get sidetracked?
I think I would just say to think about like why you're in this position, like the people that helped you get there, the people that you're doing it for, and the people that you would be letting down if you were to let it all go. That's the biggest thing. Also, I like I feel like it's a tricky subject because I'm never one to judge, so I kind of hate how the media just automatically judges, especially these young stars that are 23, 24 years old, making more money than most of the people writing about it have ever seen, like, and trying to fathom how they should act in that situation because you never been in their shoes. So I think it's really tricky. But from a pretty basic standpoint, I would just tell them to think about all the people that have supported them, the people that they're doing this for, whether it's their kids, it's their family, whether it's their friends, their girlfriend, their wife, whatever it may be. Think about those people and how much you could be letting them down or how much you could be harming them by not reaching your full potential by letting something that shouldn't even be an issue really become one. But at the same time, I do think all that is growing pains. Like I know if I was 21 years old with $100 million contract, I might think I can do some things that I shouldn't do too. So I have to look at it from that perspective too and be understanding. But that's what I would say.
Okay, now you are in sales. How close is your interaction with the actual players on the team? Do you interact with them a lot, or is it a totally separate entity?
So in sales, we work in the arena. Like our office is directly connected to the arena. So I'm there, and I mean I do run into players from time to time. Like if I'm in the arena doing some work or showing the client something or whatever, like there are times that I run across the players. We don't necessarily like watch them practice or nothing like that, but we do come across, and I mean we speak. We're cordial, and I mean I've had some conversations out in the community. Like if we're there having a community event, sometimes some of the players will be working right alongside us, and that's really some of my that's the times that I've been able to have the most meaningful and like longest conversations with some of the players while we're out in the community doing some work because sometimes it's more casual and things of that nature. But the same way I'm in the office, trying to make some sales, trying to make some things happen. When they're at the arena, they're there because they're at work too. So it's never a situation where I'm trying to distract them from what they have going on. And honestly, they understand how important the sales role is too because we're filling the stands. So they don't really try to, you know, interrupt what we have going on either.
Now I see Hampton Roads. I've always known it. We got, I know a young man, he was working in Phoenix, I believe, in hospitality with the NBA, I believe.
Uh-huh.
A young man, a friend of mine, her son was working in Phoenix, Arizona for the NBA, I believe, in
Yeah.
the hospitality area.
Yeah.
And you're in Memphis. Then we got, like I just mentioned, Allen Iverson. You got Bubba, Michael Vick. It's a lot of
Yeah.
stars coming out of Hampton Roads. Hampton Roads is rich with talent. It is just so rich. But with all of that being said, I always give my guests an opportunity to say whatever you would like to say to my subscribers, to the world. This is the Malik moment right now. Malik, this is your moment to say whatever you would like to say to people that are going to look at this video.
Okay, so it's crazy because like, you know, from the time I was young, like, you know, obviously doing interviews, usually you get to, you know, leaving remarks or say something, and it's kind of always been the same phrase for me, and it's crazy that, you know, from a young age I've been able to still say this, and it might sound really simple, but honestly, like, anybody listening, just do it. And what I mean by that is like whatever your goal is or whatever it is that you want to accomplish or something that you've been thinking about doing for the past 2 or 3 years that you haven't done yet for whatever reason. You've been making up excuses to not do it or finding reasons to not be able to go ahead and get it done. I say just do it. Throughout my life, that's something that's been big for me. Like I say, I've had my hands in a lot of pots, but it's because when I had an idea, I just did it. I didn't try to, you know, create a reason. And I feel like a lot of times, like we have what's capable. God has already put inside of us what we need to be able to do those things, but we find a reason to dim that light inside of us and not do some of the things that we should go ahead and just start to tackle or start to try to accomplish. And I mean, you might fail, you might make some mistakes, but at the end of the day, if you never start it, you're never going to finish it. My favorite verse says, those who watch the wind will not reap, and those who wait for the wind will not. What does it say? Those who watch the clouds will not reap, and those who wait for the wind will not sow. Basically, just saying like there will never be perfect conditions.
Right?
There will never be perfect conditions at any time in your life, so you have to take that first step, take that leap of faith, and God will kind of handle the rest. But if you're watching the wind or watching the clouds and waiting for that perfect moment, you're never gonna be able to start taking that journey towards whatever your next step is. So that's something I would say.
Malik, I said it. I knew that you were a very positive young man. I am just so proud that I was able to get this interview with you. There's nothing else to say after those beautiful words that you just said. Just do it. Just you were saying that before Nike was saying it. So just do it. I think we do sometimes get hampered by thoughts and things or fear, like you said, fear and fear of the unknown. But you're right, just do it. And that's why we have Sports Chat with Nat. I say, I'm just going to do it. I love
Yeah,
sports. I love to talk. I'm just going to do it. So I'm
simple.
going to
Yeah,
keep just doing it, Malik. And Malik, I've noticed that short and simple sometimes is the best way to go. And darling, you have given us some powerful words in just this short amount of time. And I promise you I would keep it short so that we could just keep it to the point, short and to
yeah,
the point.
right.
Because you are a very motivational young man. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud that you represent Hampton Roads in a very positive way. We get so much flack about our young people, but you have
Yeah,
been one of those bright young people for so long. And I
thank
am
you.
just so happy that you are still a shining light. And I hope all of the young men, not just in Hampton Roads, but all over, see you and follow you and understand that it can be done no matter what the obstacles may look like. Like you said, step out on faith and it can be done. You keep praying and keep trusting God, He will make it happen. And Malik,
Thank
I
you.
thank you so much for spending a few minutes with Sports Chat with Nat fans. We want to come see the Memphis Grizzlies. I want to
Yeah,
come see the
hey.
Grizzlies live. I want to come and see them live.
Yeah, two
I
things.
want you to
Yeah, My bad.
Young.
Yeah, one, if y'all want to come see the Grizzlies, make sure you hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to look out for my people, especially from Virginia. It sucks that we don't have a team, and that's something I talk about a lot when I'm on the phones with fans, even here, like how grateful they should be that, they have a hometown team to support because, being from the 7-5, we don't really have any major team in the city or in the area at all. So that's something
Not
that hopefully will
anymore.
change. Hopefully that'll change at some time in the future. And second of all, once again, thank you so much for the interview. Thanks for all the listeners. And if y'all need some new music to listen to, make sure y'all check out Leak from the Peak, LIQ from the PEAKE, all platforms. Got a lot of music that's out there, a lot of new stuff coming too. So
Now we will put his Instagram handle on when I post the interview. I will add that with it as well. So Malik, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot to do, but I just want to thank you for taking a few minutes, because to see a young man, you're the second young man that I saw as a youngster grow up and I've interviewed on my show. And
wow.
to me, that's like God's confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm just so proud of you, young man. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for spending time with us at Sports Chat with Nat Lee from the Peak. Thank you so much, darling.
This is Sports Chat with Nat.